Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to thank you for hitting that play button. If this is your very first time stopping by, my name is Chuck, and on this channel we deal with everything Corvettes. In today's episode, I guess we could say it, I'm actually going to be calling Rick here in just a moment. Rick Corvette Conti. Some of you guys may know who he is. Some of you may not know who he is. But he is a top 10 Corvette car salesman in the United States out of, and I always get the name of his city wrong, but Pataskala, I think is what it is, Ohio. I've purchased, I'm actually in the process of ordering, or I've already ordered a new Z06 from him. And in today's vlog, I'm going to be calling him up. We're going to be going over the order. You're going to see in this, up on the screen behind me, of course, you'll see some pictures of him, but you're also going to see the actual ordering guide that I'm going to be streaming from my laptop. So over on this side, you're going to be able to see the car as I make changes to it, as I'm talking with him, the different things that I want to do with the car. You'll see that happen over there. Kind of right behind me over here is going to be more of kind of the details of the different options and different things. But what I wanted to, in this video, is not only show you how really simple it is to actually order a Corvette, but I also want to, also through Rick, show you how simple it is to just buy one off of his lot. Back in February of last year, I purchased a collector's edition Grand Sport for my wife. Many of you guys seen that. And it's just simple. It's one of those things, you pick a car, you know, he tells you exactly what it's got. Here's the price. You know, you don't have to worry about trying to negotiate and all these other things. Usually he's got great prices on everything. And that's one thing that where you may live, you know, maybe you've got a dealership and they only have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 Corvettes. And, you know, a lot of times if you'll look at his website, and I'll have it linked below, it'll be the first link below, but I actually go to his website quite often and just look at the different, you know, his different inventory, see what the pricing is. And many times you'll have a Corvette with pretty much the same specs where you live that's like, you know, sometimes $10,000 more than what you can buy it, you know, from someone who sells by volume. And that's the big thing with Rick and his dealership. And as well as, you know, there's a lot of great dealerships out there, Kerbick Chevrolet, Chris Wall, you know, there's just some amazing dealerships that are out there. But, you know, with me, I use Rick. That's who I feel comfortable with. That's who I have a relationship with. And he's just really easy to work with. So guys, we're going to get him on the phone. We're going to dive into how I spec'd out my Corvette. And there's a few questions that some of you guys had sent in, and we'll ask a few of those as we go. Also, as a reminder, starting here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a weekly upload where it's going to be basically, I call it Corvettes 918 Garage Talk. And you guys have already started submitting several photos. If you'll notice behind me, I am in front of a green screen, and it's going to allow me to put pictures of your cars, your garages, different things like that up behind me as we're discussing certain topics. The first topic we are going to talk about in the very first episode is going to be tires. That seems to be the biggest question that I got. If you have a question, you have a picture you want to send in for the garage, for the backdrop, you can send it. I'll have it linked. The email's linked below. It's just Corvettes 918 Garage Talk at gmail.com. But again, I'll have that linked below. Love to be able to feature your cars, your garages, things like that on here. So guys, let's give Rick a call. I know he's been with customers all day. I've been at work all day, but he just said that he's free now. So we're going to get him on the phones here. And hopefully everything will come through. You guys will be able to hear him pretty good. I'm going to turn this up.
Hello, Chuck, Corvettes 918, sir. How are you?
How's it going, Mr. Rick Conti?
It's going great, man.
Are you busy today?
No, I'm waiting on you. I got the camera set up and everything. I'm not going to pretend like you just caught me off guard.
No, I just told everybody who's watching, I said, no, he knows I'm calling him. I said he's been busy. But, well, I'm excited to put this video out, not only, you know, kind of showing, you know, my Corvette and how it was built, and we'll talk a little bit about towards the end, kind of a projection of when we may be getting it, because I've already had some questions about that. Sure. I've got you right up next to my lapel mic, so we should be able to hear you just fine. But the big thing I want people to kind of really see is not only is it really simple to order a Corvette, but it's also really simple just to buy one on the lot. And so we'll talk a little bit about that towards the end as well. If someone happens to go to your website and they see one, what can they expect whenever, they're going to be placing an order for one, or whether or not they're just going to buy one off your lot.
Well, and you see the stuff going on, and I know you've been watching the marketplace, being gone from YouTube, and now you're back. We can bring it all forefront. It's been an ever-changing marketplace right now, and I've been doing all I can to keep people up to date on what we think expecting-wise for the end of 19, when C8 would start. And right now it looks like we're in that holding pattern, which is probably a blessing in disguise, because it does give us a chance. As you said before, Chuck's the one that said, and I'm recording a blog too while I'm talking to you, he had said, hey, let's get excited about C7 again. And you're right, because this is a good car. And I've always talked about, let's not forget what we have in front of us. As much as we want to go forward, we've got something really good in front of us. And right now, the small delay in C8 is allowing us an extended build. At the time we're recording this with you, Chuck, we have not have a definitive answer for GM as far as when 19s end. But I'm starting to see a few things creep in there where they're going to start, slowing down that line and slowing down pieces, parts, like the full spoiler in the back on Z06 and Grand Sport in exposed carbon fiber is no longer available for ordering. So that's a supplier issue. Just kind of strange things like that, but we pay attention to it as it changes. But, for all intents and purposes right now, it's business as usual. Order what you want, get what you want, and have fun with it.
Yes, and I know that's been a big question. Matter of fact, I got 3 of those questions. They weren't worded the same, but there was a lot of guys that are on the fence, and they're thinking about, possibly buying a C8. They're thinking about, should I just go ahead and buy the C7 now? And they're kind of like, when's the latest I can possibly do this? I think if you wait too long, as you just said, you may not be able to build the one you want. There may be some things that you can't get your hands on.
Well, yeah, and that's where the word constraint comes into play, and that's going to happen eventually, because a lot of the pieces, parts, and so forth we have now are not going to carry over on the new car. And here's the thing I'm going to talk about. We might as well talk about it now. Here's what worries me is we're not changing model year to model year. We're changing model year to new generation and changing the whole complexity of the car. So what has happened in the past, and usually it's not the case, when you put in a sold order, those are supposed to be protected. But as you get close to the end, and like you said, don't wait to the end, we very well may put in a sold order, it's accepted, it's scheduled for build. GM may come knocking out the door and just say, hey guys, sorry, things are changing internally, we're not able to build that car. And then your anticipation becomes disappointment. And I don't want that to happen for a lot of folks out there thinking about ordering a car. That's still a real possibility. So I let people know that as a caveat, as we're putting in these orders here in the very late portion of C7 and 2019 model year, that could happen right this very moment. And like for your order, Chuck, it hasn't happened, but I'm very cautious, but I want people to know both sides of the coin.
Exactly. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just dive into mine. I know you have the specs there behind me on the wonderful green screen we got here. You guys are going to be able to see this car being built as I go through it and make different clicks here on my laptop. Rick, I've got a laptop in front of me, and I'm basically on the GM website. And so as we go through each one of these, I know there are some things that I did in my build that you can't, unless you know you can do this, you wouldn't get that from this website, such as, carbon ceramics without doing the entire Z07 package. And then I also want you to kind of fill us in as we go from, trims to colors to packages. If there's anything that you would want to touch on about things that you can do that maybe we can't do here on the website, or whoever's watching us here can't do on the website, some little details that you might be able to do.
Well, that's a good point too, Chuck. And I'll just say before you go forward is, in fact, a lot of people that would build up a car online, Chuck's exactly right. Sometimes it's a little confusing. Sometimes it doesn't show you what you actually click. You may not be able to get a certain option with a certain package. That's always a good place to start, but I always like to go back through it, as Chuck is talking about, and line by line, make sure you're getting what you're expecting, and to make some suggestions for you guys. So at the end of the day, the car turns out and it just looks fantastic.
Perfect. So the first option someone has, of course, is going to be, are they going to do a coupe and convertible? That's kind of your, the first thing there. And so, of course, I'm going with a coupe. If you want to go with a vert, it's about $4,000 more. You can do that there. So that's a real simple one there. The next we're going to get into the trims, and I think this is probably the biggest hang up most people get into is when they get into these three different options, whether you're in the the 1LZ or the 1LT all the way up to the 3LZ or the 3LT, depending on if you're getting a Stingray or a Grand Sport or a Z06. That little LZ changes on the other two platforms to the LT, if I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they do, and we've got a video coming out on our channel too, with a great request to do a breakdown of all the packages. So stay tuned for that. But as we go through this order with Chuck, we'll make sure that he's understanding what he's getting, and you guys understand what you're clicking.
Correct. And so the 1LZ, what type of buyer would want a 1LZ? Because, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, is that more of somebody who's going to really focus that car towards tracking? I know budget has a lot to do with a lot of different things as you start speccing these cars out. And the price of these cars can go north really quickly depending on the options. But is a 1LZ, tell us who would start with that as maybe their Corvette?
Well, I get a good spectrum of the marketplace, and I'll tell you, when the Z06 came out in 2015, everybody wanted 3LZ. They all wanted Z07. Everybody was ordering $110,000, $115,000 cars. Even me, from ordering inventory for you folks to choose from on the lot, I've changed up the way I've ordered and really opened my eyes to the value story of 1LZ, because it's a customer that may want Z06 without all those fancy stuff, just to have the bragging rights that I've got that engine. And then also, too, you bring in the factor of you're going to get a track client that would want the 1LZ, and that they don't need all that other stuff because, it's weight if they're really in a competition-type situation, but also, too, they're going to spend money on items that they really need to spend for their performance driving. And you're looking, for Z06, you're probably looking at anywhere from 2 to 5% of the clients actually do some weekend warrior tracking events, if you will.
Okay. Now, with the 1LZ, of course, you can still get navigation, the PDR, which both of those are the same. So you can't have one or the other. And so if you add that package, so if you're that track guy, you want to go out, I would highly recommend the PDR. That automatically gives you the nav. And I think that's, a nice thing that they're allowing you to actually add that, to the 1LZ package.
Oh, yeah. I get so many people that will compliment me and say, wow, I didn't know that you could get navigation on a 1LZ. I thought you had to go to such and such and such and such. And that adds the great value story without going too crazy. And here's the other thing that people don't realize. Z06 is its own little entity within the models. It comes with extra nice stuff. It comes standard with head-up display, which you would think you had to go to the 2 or 3 package to get. Also, too, if you did a colored interior, like with a red interior in a 1 package, usually it's just the seats. But in Z06, it's a higher level client. They give you the red stitching, which ties into the red paddles. So it really is a real upscale experience when you go to Z06, even though in the 1LZ. But I agree, adding the navigation, which I do almost all the time, unless I'm looking for that true price point car, I think that's just a great value story.
Okay. Now moving to the 2LZ, again, Rick's going to be putting up some a video there on his channel going over these. So if you guys want to, check out and go in depth with these different packages, definitely make sure you're subscribed to his channel. He's always linked below, and he is, again, Rick is bringing us Corvette from the retail side, and then I'm trying to bring it to you as one of you, just a normal guy who owns this car. So make sure you are subscribed to his channel if you want to check out these packages, because we're not going to spend a ton of time in these, because you could literally talk about these for a long time if you wanted to. So number 2 is the 2LZ. Now, that package is probably pretty much the sweet spot for the marketplace. Am I correct in that?
It really is. Across the board in Stingray, Grand Sport, or Z06, the nice thing I like in the car, being around it 24 years, is the 2LZ gives you the front parking cameras. You're going to pick up lumbar support for your seats. You're going to pick up memory for your seats, garage door opener, an extra speaker in your Bose system. So and those parking cameras are probably the sweet spot there too. But again, the navigation is still an a la carte option. You still have to check the box and pay extra for that on the 2LZ, but you're still saving money.
And I'm a huge fan of the cooled seats, and that comes with that one as well. Especially if you live in and it's got great heated seats as well. So when you're out and it's hot. I've been to a lot of car shows. You get in your car and it's 105 outside, and you get in, you turn that on. It's like you just peed your pants. It gets so cold so quick. So that's definitely for me always a must-have when it comes to that. Now, moving on to what I chose, which was I'm one of those guys that you talked about that just ordered everything on the cars, and it was $110,000 before you knew what happened. But the 3LZ, for me, what I always liked, this is going to be more for I think that guy who likes all the creature comforts inside of that thing. Meaning you got Alcantara, the suede. You can get into more of where you get into the steering wheel, where you've got carbon fiber. You've got just. I like touching, after owning a ZR1, I like touching suede. It's a nice feeling whenever you're driving one of these cars. And so, you're talking about the difference. Let's say a 2LZ, you add, the PDR system to it, you're adding, what, $1,800? So, really the difference between a 2LZ and probably a 3LZ is probably right around $3,500 because the 3LZ, you get the PDR and the navigation. That's not a check mark.
The only real equipment content you get. The 3LZ was designed for the customer you just described that wants all the creature comforts, wants a little bit more fancier interior. Maybe he's more just a cruising type of client that's not going to race it. He just wants the nicer amenities, the nicer materials as he touches it, from the Napa leather on your dash and your door panels, and the Alcantara on your A and B pillars for the coupes, the quilted headliner underneath on your roof. Unless you do a glass roof, but I recommend doing the painted roof because that it's quieter inside, the painted roof is lighter, and that quilted headliner inside is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to move on to color, and when you get into this, it's a good thing that we are kind of a little bit limited, because I can only imagine if we pulled this up and we was building a Dodge Hellcat and they got 45 different colors you can choose from. And the whole time you're second guessing. Now, probably outside of you choosing what package you want, of course, whether you want a vert or a coupe, the other big question is it's always about color, right, Rick? I mean, it's really, that's what sells these cars. Whether you're doing Elkhart blue and you got a whole row of them at a dealership. I don't know who would buy a whole truck and a half load of these cars, but there's somebody out there on YouTube doing that. We get into these colors. Now, what makes Long Beach red, Corvette racing, and Sebring orange? Why are those? Is there a particular reason why those are premium over the other ones?
It's the paint process. It's a tint coat paint process. So the extra time it takes to paint those, there's a cost with that because they could be making a larger quantity in other colors. So there's a cost offset there.
Okay.
With those tint coats.
Now, of course, we know the most popular, I think they may have it on here. I don't think they do, most popular color, but, you've got black, you've got white, you've got torch red, Admiral, blue metallic, but this is bringing up, I know why. I'm in the 2018 model. If I was in the 2019, that would say Elkhart blue, not Admiral blue.
Yeah.
And so those are really the only two differences on these two colors is going to be that. The Watkins Glen is now the shadow gray. And so even though I'm about to press on this, matter of fact, oh man, I'm in the wrong.
Go ahead and switch. And what I'll tell everybody real quick too is the one thing I'll tell you is don't base your determination of color on those little computer graphics, because they, in most cases, they're nowhere close to what the actual car is going to look like. And we can, sometimes give you some pictures of the paint chips or what have you to help you in your final decision. But if you like a medium to darker gray car, because if you look at when he flips over to 19, the shadow gray will look almost kind of greenish blue on the screen. It looks nowhere like what it actually is in person. So don't let that deter you in your choices.
Okay, we're moving back to where we need to be here. Okay, so
you're in 19s now.
Yes, I'm in the 19s. So okay, I'm back to the colors. Okay, there's the blade silver, torch red, Elkhart lake blue, the shadow gray. Now, of course, with me, I'm going with the shadow gray. So of course, the moment you hit that, there's the shadow gray. You're seeing it, there on the screen over to be over on my right, your left. So that's the color I'm going with. A lot of people have asked me, Chuck, why aren't you going to do, ceramic matrix gray again? I know you were a huge fan of the Carbon 65 car. That's what you put on your ZR1. that was a struggle for me. I was probably 85% going to go towards the ceramic matrix gray, but that shadow gray, I was able to see not a Corvette in that color, but a different car in that color, and my wife loves it. I love it, so that's what we're going to go with, is the shadow gray. Okay, so from there, as we scroll down, there's all kinds of other things that you can do to this car. If you want to do a hood stinger, you want to do, I'm going to be doing, just for the sake of time, I'm going to be doing the dual stripe in the satin black. And so when I click that, you're going to see those stripes added to the car. Now, I've always kind of been on the fence with stripes. There's several people in my vet club that have them, and I'm going to go all in on stripe. You can always take it off if you needed to. So, because that's something that if the dealership puts on versus, hey, Rick, I got this car. Can you guys put the stripes on it? I'm sure it can be done, but it's nice if it comes from factory that way.
Absolutely.
Rick, we're moving into the interior. I know there's some different things that you can do here depending on which one of these interior package that you go with. And I know there's some, different things that you can do on your end, but kind of, describe, to everybody who's watching, once they get to this interior, what are there any other options outside of what they're seeing?
Well, yeah, it is. And sometimes that gets confusing because you'll have an anticipation what you want to build, but the computer's not letting you do that. That's where you need to let me know. There are certain things that you can only do with certain other options. Like, for instance, in Chuck's scenario, he wanted more suede on the trim. Well, you get that, but also, too, you're getting a high-gloss carbon fiber on the steering wheel and on your dash, and that's the only way to get that. I've had people say, I want the high-gloss carbon fiber. The only way to get it is with a certain trim code, which I know is the 198, and that will give you more suede up across your dash, your passenger airbag area, on the door panels, in the seat center inserts, and on your armrest on your center console. So if that's what you want, let me know. Sometimes it just won't show on the computer there. So that's about 97% when you're doing a build, and then we can tell you some other things that you can do with that. In this case, I don't want to get ahead of you there, Chuck, but I know that you wanted to do a red stitching, which it did allow us to do so, and I don't think it lets you do that on the Chevy build.
Correct. And so, because the option that I chose here is the jet black leather seating surfaces with the suede microfiber inserts. If I believe right, that's the option that I clicked.
Now, if you wanted to do that in a Kalahari, say you wanted to do that same trim in a Kalahari, it's not available. That's only available in jet black. Correct.
Because, see, when I hit that, everybody's seeing here on the screen, it says if you're going to choose this particular option, you have to add carbon fiber suede microfiber wrapped steering wheel as well as the high gloss carbon fiber instrument panel. So that automatically, it forces you to add that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so
correct.
So we're done with the interior. We're moving on to next is the packages, and this is a real big area that I'm so glad that GM listened to their customer. GM doesn't have to listen to us at all if they don't want to, but what I love that they did last year is they said, okay, we've got a lot of people who really want these carbon ceramic brakes, but they don't want the tune on the suspension. They don't want, the stage 2 wicker bill or stage 3 wicker bill. They don't want the big winglets in the back. And so what we're going to do so that they don't have to get the Cup 2 tires, they can, we've got a little code that we can check. It's not here. It doesn't give you that option, but you can do that. Is that correct?
That is correct. You can order just the carbon ceramic brakes just by themselves without doing the Z07 package. Absolutely. That's a great feature.
And I know whenever you do that and you're getting into that, it starts wanting to add your ground effects. And so at that point, you've got carbon flash that you can go with, or you can do the carbon fiber. Now, if you're watching and you love carbon fiber and that's the way you would want to go, I'm going to tell you, you might be able to get it out there sourced somewhere, but I have found that GM's carbon fiber is usually top notch. On not only on my ZR1, which was just amazing, but all the different Corvettes that I've been around. And someone says, I bought this from factory, I ordered it with the carbon fiber. It's about $1,000 difference. It may sound like a lot, but carbon fiber to me, in my experience, holds up to more road rash. It holds up to more, the little rocks and different things like that. Versus your carbon flash has a tendency, it can get chipped if you don't have a PPF or something like that on it.
Right.
When it comes to this, another thing that you could also think of is not doing ground effects at all and do it yourself. That's what I did on my Black Mamba. I didn't have any. There was no aero on that car, and so I got everything I needed from ACS Composite, which is a supporter of the channel here. So if you want to save $3,000, or you don't want to put anything on, and you just want to buy it with no side skirts. Now, remind me on. I know Z06s. Do they come with those 3/4 side skirts automatically?
Yeah, let me just enhance on that too. You're talking about a good point. It comes up when I have a client that will say, "Hey, I want to order Z07," and I'll ask them why. A lot of times they're saying, "Well, I really don't want those Cup 2 tires. I just want the brakes." But knowing that when you order Z07, you are required to pick a level 3 aero kit, either the carbon flash or the carbon fiber, like you're talking about. So people don't realize that they get the brakes separately. Now you don't have to get a full aero kit. You do get that 3/4 rocker. It's just a plastic front splitter, but the 3/4 rocker is still aesthetically looks nice, but it's very effective for rock chips and so forth. You can just add some boldness and add the taller winglets if you go to the carbon flash or the exposed carbon fiber level 3 aero kit with the wicker bill, but that requires Z07. So you're doing, on yours, Chuck, you're doing the level 2, and if you want to add the wicker bill later, you can. You still get the taller winglets, you're getting the full extensions, and you're getting the full front splitter. But a lot of people don't realize the standard on Grand Sport and Z06 is that 3/4 length rocker that is just so effective. It's a great value, and there's not been any added cost to that.
Okay, so I knew that was added because that wasn't the way in 16. When I got mine, it didn't have anything on it.
Right.
Okay, so and then from there you can get into some different things on the interior. The next thing is going to be wheels. Oh my goodness, we could have a debate here for 25 minutes on wheels. Are you a chrome guy or are you a black wheel guy? I know if you're watching my channel, you already know. Matter of fact, you know what came in the mail yesterday, Rick? My black lug nuts. I mean, they're already here. The car hadn't even been built yet, and the black lug nuts are here. Just because, you know what? Friends don't let friends drive who have black wheels with chrome lug nuts. You just can't. You can't have it. If you need to, go ahead and just stop the video right now. If you just press pause, I'll be here when you go out to your garage and look in. I mean, if it's under the cover because it's snowing outside, lift it up, and I want you to look at those black wheels. If you see chrome lug nuts on them, underneath his channel in the description is going to be a link for you to go buy some black lug nuts. So we got to have that done. Oh goodness.
Great call.
So, but here when we get into wheels, again, you've got a lot of different options here. Now, me, because I'm going to be doing red stitching, which we'll get into in a minute, and I love the satin. I love the satin look. I had it on my ZR1. I thought those wheels looked really nice. If you want something really shiny, then that's where you might want to go with, the black painted wheels, something like that. Of course, if you're going chrome, you're going to be going chrome. But I'm going to be doing the satin black that have the red stripe on it, and I like it. Now, I've had some people say, "Can I get that little bead color around in other colors?" I think it's just yellow. Is that correct?
Yeah, yellow's the only one, correct.
Okay. So I'm picking that. I'm going with the Z06 wheels. We're going with the red just because it's going to tie into the rest of the car. Now we go into mechanical options. Oh yeah, this really it was important to me as I was building this one. Of course, we're going to go with the 7-speed manual versus the 8-speed. So we had to get Mr. Manual back in the.
Mr. Manual is back.
You know what? And I know everybody's watching here. If maybe you've already, hey, if you need to go take a nap because this is already getting too long, that's okay. You can come back and watch it later on. But I'm telling you what, Joe, my good buddy, Rick, you met Joe when you came down. He's the one with the black Z06. I got in his car. We was doing a video together, and I drove his, and it ruined me. I mean, it totally ruined me. That's when I found out this car was a totally different experience when you got to pick when this thing was going to shift, not a computer. Even though it's got the paddle shifters and things like that, that car, when you hit that 6,500 RPMs, it will go into limp mode and a heartbeat on you if you don't click it quick enough. So I'm excited about the manual. Of course, it automatically tells you about the Brembo brakes, all that kind of stuff. Now, as we come further down into exterior options, now I am going with the carbon fiber logo. Had that on my ZR1. I like the nice little cap that goes there on the wheel. And let's see, they've got so many accessories. It's car covers and everything else you can imagine in this thing.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is where you would choose if you want to do a Corvette museum delivery, which Rick can facilitate, get all that set up for you. I think that would be an awesome experience if you have the time and you can go up there and pick up your car. And because when you have it done there, they're putting all your aero on. They're doing the detail. They're doing the whole 9 yards. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. They do everything there. You pull out, it's fully done.
And are they? Do you know? Do we know if they're opening the tours yet? Have you heard anything on that where people can go check out the as far as where the cars are built, which is probably not. I know that's been under wraps for a while.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to open up in January, and it looks like it's indefinite because of the C8 stuff going on right now. That's kind of a bummer because part of museum delivery, it's a great component, really adds to the experience, but you can still do the museum delivery. It supports the museum. That's an important thing to know. And also, too, you get a voucher that never expires, so you get that special tour that you missed out on the next time you come back, and it is open.
That's a great. I'm glad you said that. So that's nice that they can get that. The next thing is going to be the interior options, GT bucket seats, and then the competition. Of course, I'm going the competition. There's a big misnomer I think with this option here, and I think it has to be something that I think you can sit in and you can get a feel a little bit, but when you actually take a drive in it, a lot of bigger-chested, bigger guys think that going with competition seats is going to be totally uncomfortable. But I know you have several customers who have went that route and have had a lot of good things to say about those.
Oh, I've been a big supporter of the competition seats, Chuck, and you know that. And I ordered it with a taller, bigger guy in mind. But to my education, you get a smaller frame client that sits in that seat, and they love it just as much because it gives them stuff to lean on, it supports them in the seat, it gives you more support in your shoulders, a little bit taller headrest, and aesthetically, for this level of car, it's just very, very elegant. It's real sexy, and it looks sporty in that car. It looks like a race seat. And even if you're not racing, I mean, it goes with the Z06.
Oh, I totally agree. I think it changes the whole interior of that car. I think it changes the whole car, period. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going with on that. I'm going with the high gloss carbon instrument panel, which that's what I had on my ZR1. I think that looked really, really nice. I'm not saying that if you have the other carbon fiber, it's not nice, because it is. I just like that little hint of shininess that's there. It's just kind of a next level.
Here's something to point out too, Chuck, because you are doing that with your steering wheel, your dash. GM knows that, and they reciprocate that on the openings in your competition seats will also be in the high gloss carbon fiber.
Correct. I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah, and that's a nice touch that they do that. Let's see. Okay, the next thing is I think that was pretty much it outside of accessories. That I really didn't. I don't even remember now. I've got the email in there. Everything I got exactly. But so this is my car. This is
Well, here's a couple things you missed, though.
What I missed? What I missed?
So when a client does exactly what you just did, you build the car, then I go back over it and look at it. Here's where I make suggestions.
Okay.
He did the red stitching.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, I went right over it. Yeah.
Yeah, red seatbelts. You got the red seatbelts.
Yeah, I did. See, I because the camera's rolling, I'm not as fluent as you are, and I'm trying to mess with this computer, and I totally swiped right past that red stitching. But yes, there will be.
And here's the other thing too that you missed that you didn't get on your ZR1. We got the black mirrors.
Yes, I meant it, and that's something else. Yeah, that was a game changer. You know what, Rick? People are, on YouTube, people will watch a video and they don't realize when it was. And so I have people that still today, they watch that video and they're sending me emails saying, Chuck, well, when you get in your black mirrors? Well, I don't even have the car anymore. So let's see. Okay, so that was, and that's not bad. I mean, I'm looking for it on here. It's like $100. I think.
$100 option.
Yeah, $100 option to do that. I like the red stitching, the red paddle shifters, the red seat belts. I think, again, that's tying in with that red bead on those satin wheels outside. I think that's going to look really sharp. And, of course, I'm going to have it tinted out, and we'll talk about that as well. So did I miss anything else, Mr. Rick, in the process of all that?
No, actually, you covered it all. I mean, the only thing you probably could have thrown in there component-wise is it, of course you did the dual stripes which go over the car, so you wouldn't want to do that with a glass roof. You wouldn't want to do that with an exposed carbon fiber roof, and you didn't want to do a roof package where you would get the glass roof and the painted roof. I think we're at the day and age, it's nice to have that choice, but people are going with one roof and not worried about one sitting in the garage that you hit with a lawnmower or something, or forget about the roof that you paid for. The one roof is great, it comes off, and I think that serves you well. It's a great value.
Now, looking at my particular, package setup here, I'm sitting there in your office. You got any suggestions? Is there anything that I might need to reconsider or look at, or anything else I might be able to do based upon, I know you get a feel for your customer because you're talking to them and you kind of find out, what it is they like, what they don't like, and then maybe it's something that we've just skimmed over that I don't remember.
Well, sometimes too, like a lot of people don't realize on Z06, the red calipers are standard. So I'll have people come in here with a list like you've given me, and they think they're paying for the red calipers. It's standard on Z06. Other things I would have pointed out would have been the red stitching, which I think is a great tie-in. The red seat belts, I would have mentioned that. That's a great tie-in. The black mirrors, I like it a lot. Just overall, this is just a good-looking spec. I don't think you're missing anything on this. I get real excited about it when you guys are building the cars, and I don't want to upset anybody by turning away from what they anticipate. I just want to make some suggestions, and sometimes it'll open their eyes. They didn't know another feature or what have you would be available, or they're good with what they picked. But it's nice to have a conversation and cover all the bases.
Exactly. Now, okay, we talked about it here. Everybody's seen my car. It's ordered. When it gets here, I know originally, I don't know if you want to share, I know you're able to look in there and it's got some, build times. Do we know when that is or when it's projected?
Read my mind, man. Read my mind. Yeah, let's take this opportunity, and I'm not going to name him, but let's thank the GM executive that I reached out. So what's happening right now is, we talked about it earlier in this video, ordering a car. If you can still order 19s, and right now it's business as usual. The build cycle on cars that I've been ordering here at the beginning part of December and toward the end of December have been like a late January to late February build. So Chuck said, hey, I'd like to come in, such and such time. I said, yeah, it should be no problem. Z06s, for some reason, have been pushed out 30 days beyond the other cars. I put your order in. When we actually put the order in, the very next day your allocation was pulled. 2 days later, it was assigned a build week. So we're moving things real quick for you guys. But it was initially given a build week of 325.
Wow.
And it did fall into the timeline that you want. And Chuck is so gracious. He says, hey, man, I want to promote C7. He goes, but I get to get this car early. I can't get it late toward the end. And it kind of just serves the whole purpose, even though you're still going to enjoy the car. But your extra marketing efforts for myself and for Chevy and Corvette is great. So I reached out to an executive at General Motors. He actually responded to me on Christmas Day and said, when we get back in the office, I'll take care of it, and that car will be built the week of 121. And I text you right away, and I'm like, wow, man, I can't believe this is awesome.
All right. I mean, hey, my birthday's 5 days after that, so hey, that's the early birthday present, knowing that thing's being built. And then, so once someone builds it, you have that date, you share that with them. What you're really, really great about is keeping your customers in the know, especially those people who aren't there near with you. I know you've texted me several times saying, Chuck, here's the projected build date. Oh, let me see what we can do. And you've really stayed in contact with me, and I know you do that with all your customers, whether it's someone that's ordering or maybe somebody who's wanting to just purchase something that you have right there on your lot.
Right. And I guess one thing, too, and I'm sorry, Chuck has a tendency, every time he does a video with me, it goes long, but we're covering some good stuff here, guys.
I told him when I called him, I said, this is going to be 20 minutes.
Get your snacks, whatever, hanging out with us. Here's the other component. So he's ordered the car. He's in Oklahoma. I'm in Ohio. One of three options when you order the car. I could either take this order with the acceptance of a local dealership and do what's called a drop ship, and I would divert it to that dealership. Chuck would have to pay an additional cost to that dealership, usually around $500, and they prep everything, and then he and I would just do the paperwork via overnight mail. He could also do the museum deliveries he mentioned. Again, paperwork, overnight mail, and schedules with the museum, and they're fantastic at working around your schedule to book you in there and then everybody see you on the webcam. Or the car comes here, and then I can either ship it to you, which we did with your wife's car, via an enclosed carrier to your home. Again, paperwork's done, overnight mail, very easy, just like you guys are sitting here, but it's not a 4-hour process. It's a very easy process. Or in this case, I'm excited, Chuck is going to fly in, we'll pick him up at the airport, come to the dealership, go over the car, and then he makes it, as this car is, it's an event. So now it's an event. traveling from Ohio back to Oklahoma, getting acquainted with your car and just having fun with it. And that's what it's all about.
I'm excited beyond measure. I mean, I didn't realize, these things become a part of you. It's gone. I mean, the last 5 months to me it felt like 2 years. I mean, it's just, so many times I want to go out there. Now, Rick, Chuck is going to be doing something a little special to the car when it comes in. And matter of fact, I think I was started getting emails from people saying, "Hey, Chuck, I didn't know you was getting the Corsa Extreme system on your car." I said, "What are you talking about?" And then I watched Rick's vlog, and I know where it came from at that point.
Well, I mean, you blindsided me when everybody starts texting me. I didn't know you put it on Instagram, and I was like, I text Chuck. I'm like, "Hey, man, did you announce you're coming back?" He goes, "Yeah, I put a post on Instagram." I'm like, "Okay." So I figured it's game on. Here we go.
Oh goodness! Well, hey, if you're following in for this on the very first time, you've never watched my channel. Me and Rick are really good friends. We both have YouTube channels. You definitely got to make sure you follow him. Again, he's just a great entertainment. Even if maybe right now you're not in the sphere of even getting a Corvette, but maybe in the future you want to. It's always great to watch content on something that you're going to have in the future. And so he's going to be ramping us up on C8 and all those things later on down the road. But as he mentioned, and me and him have spoken in the past, guys, we got an amazing car right now. A lot of you are driving this car right now. You know how amazing this car is. And, I want people out there that maybe you're thinking about getting one, you don't know yet. Hey, just jump on his website. I'm on your website all the time, Rick. I mean, I'm always looking at your inventory. It gets me in trouble because that's how I bought my wife's car, getting on your website. But, getting on the website, looking at the different ones that are out there, because, the thing is, and this isn't an infomercial for Rick. That's not what I'm here to do. He's a good friend of mine. But what I will say is, I can get on local dealerships here in my area, look at their cars, see what their prices are, look on his website, and see how much you're saving. Believe me, $1,100 to ship it. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I can't. I live in Texas. I'm not going 1,000, I'm not going 1,000 miles to get this car. For like $1,100, $1,200, you can have it shipped to you, and you're going to save that easily on what he's going to save you on the cost of it. So
here's the thing too, and yeah, you are just beyond amazing when it comes to support for me, and it's not an infomercial for me, but it is for us that are in the community. You get excited when you can refer somebody when it's something that you share in that knows that you're going to be taken care of. So Chuck's a Corvette owner, and I'm a guy that's an enthusiast and sells the car. So when he says, "Hey, go check out Rick to buy a car," it's not just about price, guys, because what you're not getting at some of the other dealerships that don't specialize in sharing the same passion that we do for this car is the time to go through the order, or the time to set up the car correctly for you before it ships, or whether you're here. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to be fair. At the end of the day, you don't mind paying good money as long as you're getting good service. So I am so honored to have the opportunity to work with you guys, and his support, sending you my way, I know gives him confidence, because he's not sending it to a guy that's just worried about numbers and selling cars. I got to do that. That's the nature of what I do. But at the same token, I really enjoy it. I enjoy you folks as Corvette owners and would-be owners, and it's a blast to do this each and every time. 24 years, I'm not bored with one of them. I mean, it's a blast every single time.
And that's why I think that's what people are drawn to you, is because this is their hard-earned money, and they want someone to take care of this and get them exactly what it is that they want. But again, maybe you don't want to build. Maybe you're looking at this saying, "Chuck, I don't want to build in a car. I see a great one on his website." Hey, there you go. Jump on it and go at it, and go that route. You don't have to wait. It's ready to go now. So I know there's still some great deals. I've been on your website. Again, if I wasn't going to build one because I already had in my mind what I wanted, there's already a couple cars on there that I'd want. And then also, you got a lot of great used cars. Matter of fact, I just seen a black one that came in from, I believe, Florida, that is a Z07. And, I mean, 4,000 miles? I mean, the thing hadn't even been broke in yet.
Man.
And you can save some serious money. Yeah.
The guy that had that car bought it, was a guy that wanted every option. It's a 3LZ competition seat car, manual transmission car, 4,000 miles. He's 72 years old, and he just wanted to have the next top of the mountain car, so he traded that for a ZR1. And I also put up yet tonight, I'm sure you haven't had a chance to look at, just a beautiful, clean, I wish it was a sunny day, but I had to get the pictures up right away because of the timing. It's a 2010 white Z06 and C6 with the spider chrome wheels, red interior. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. So it's not usual to get, because we have such good new car deals right now, we are seeing those trades when we usually would see them in April. So we're getting them now. So save some money now and get them and get ready.
Rick, hey, I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know it's your time is 7:45. It's 6:45 my time.
No problem.
But guys, if you're looking for someone to buy a Corvette from, I think you just heard from him. So, Rick, I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thanks always, Chuck. You're awesome, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a great night.
Guys, until I see you probably in about 2 weeks, maybe a week, when we kick off Garage Talk, and we're going to be talking about tires for the Corvette, the different ones, my experience with them, and, kind of maybe help you with if you're thinking about buying a particular tire, whether it's all-purpose tire, sports tire, whatever. Guys, until I see you at the next one, I hope each and every one of you have a blessed rest of your week.